morning. My name is André Luijs and I want to present you a new functionality since mendix version 10.19 on view entities. View entities can be used in various ways and it's basically a change of a new version of OQL. Topics I want to cover is how to use views in a graph and when combining operational and archive data. And where you have to specifically look at is on the security point of view. I start with a simple invoice application that shows just an invoice with a lot of history. There are three roles, the administrator and the manager. Both can see all invoices, and the sales who can only see its own invoice. So let's go to the application. You can see the application in front of you. I'm now an administrator, so I can generate invoices or do some archiving. And if I change to a manager, I will see all the invoices. There are 783 invoices. But if I'm a sales guy, then I can only see my own invoices, which I think is in this use case good for demo purposes. Of course, salesperson B can only see the salesperson B invoices. But now let's start with working with view entities where you want to see a graph showing for a year per salesperson the invoice amount excluding tax. First, you have to set your system to be able to use views on OQL2. So go to settings, go to runtime, change OQL version 2. Then you can go into your domain model and you can start building a OQL view. Well, to save some time, I have prepared this OQL. And I'm basically just copying it in. And here I'm saying, okay, use from my domain model view entities invoice, give it an alias inv, join it with the employees because you want to see the employee name and also want to have a link to the employee. That's why I'm also using emp ID in the grouping and also here in a link. So you can use other entities as a link, which I will use later for some security. If your application is running, then you can run your query directly and look at the results. Well, these look pretty fine. I now give my entity a name. I call it view invoice graph per year, something similar, and you see you have your view stored. You see it's green as to represent it's a view, and the link is also shown. What I haven't done yet is set up the access rules. Well, the access rules for the invoice should be the same as was for the normal invoices. So administrator and manager can see all, and the salesman can read all but has an expert constraint to the user. So that's why I've introduced here the link, which is basically an association between a view and an entity. And I want them only to see their own invoices. So the view is set. Now we are going to add a graphic to this page where we say, okay, chart. We set this on refresh, and from the new AnyChart list, which is fully React based, you can easily put in a column chart, select multiple series, and now you can just select the view. Want to say in what order you want to have this, and you have your data selected. You want to have it grouped by the salesperson. Series name. We want to give them a name in the legend as well, so we put in the employee name. And on the x-axis we put the year, on the y we put the invoice amount. We can include a hover over, but we're currently not doing that. A little bit of a change compared to the past is that in the past you had the option to do development mode. That's now called a playground slot. And you have to be aware there's some space in the widget created for that, but you have to put in the playground widget in it to make it work. So let's see what this results in, and I'm going to restart the application. Now it should build like I hope and present some data as it did before. So I'm logging in as administrator, and again I have to get the security password for the demo users. And you still see here the 783 invoices. If you go to the salesperson A, he has a third of them, and in the chart you will only see the salesman A, and if you go to the manager you will see all the salespersons. This graph doesn't look that nice because of the sizing, so I'm going to put it on 50% of the scale on the screen, and again this will be much better, and it will show all the data. But now what will happen if we are going to archive this stuff? So the administrator is allowed to archive stuff, and when archiving there's only 30 invoices left for this year, and of course in the chart you only will see the figures for this year. So now back to the drawing board in Mendix. In the domain model, what we want to do is combine invoice and invoice archive. In SQL terms that's called a union, and we want to union both these entities in one. Again we are going to introduce a new entity for it, and I've prefixed the stuff. So again here we can say give me the two, and we first going to get all the fields from the operational data, which I called current, and then I change the name of the archive, and I'm going to union that with the archive data. Again we can run this query, and now you see that again we have the 783 rows we had before. So basically we have now the invoice union, so let's call it like that, and that's available. Again there's an employee link in it, but now we also want to include the union and the union data in the graph. That's now pretty quickly to be achieved. We just have to say, okay, instead of going to the invoice, I'm going to the view invoice union. Fields are the same. The link is called the same. The link is also called differently. So employee link. So let's and again now we are going to run this, and there's an error because we have to start the application before. The view, you can only use the the real-time OQL if you have all the entities in it already, and I didn't have the view entity in it. So hopefully now this will work. And you see, again, we have now 18 rows. The easy part is the difficult part is now done. We can easily say, okay, basically we don't have to change anything anymore because we are redirecting the view. We view the app. Again, we log in as administrator. And let's go to the security. And log in as administrator. I only see the 30, and in the chart I still see everything for everyone. Although it's archived for salesperson A, you can only see its own, etc. So this is quite a good way to use views. You can easily move data or merge data and archive data. So conclusion is that you have to activate OQL2, which is done automatically, but I just wanted to show you where. You can use it for charts. Be aware you have to use security in it as well. The views are not taking over the security of the underlying entity, so you have to set it again there. That's why you can see the archive data. So for example, no users were allowed to see any archive data, as you can see in the data model, because I have no settings done for access. But via a view you can override that the settings. So you have to be specifically careful with rights and security. This can also be helpful to combine operational and archive data. So yeah, nice points. Take special care of associations and be very aware of the security. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or remarks, send me an email or just put a message near this video, and hopefully I will make some new videos soon. Bye bye.